We're all gonna be okay.
Can you hear me? I'm just kidding.
Is everything okay? Hi guys, welcome to the stream.
Hopefully we're all good. We're a load of professionals over here. Anyway.
Very professional startup this time.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, welcome to the weekly religion live stream.
Yeah, welcome back everybody. We're here with the team from Uppercut Games. Hopefully you can hear us really good. Shelly's been awesome over there resetting all the equipment, chasing down fires, and hitting the mice that have been chewing on cables with it's a monkey wrench. It's really awesome to watch. Anyway, so I'm Chance Ivey, your community manager, and I'm here with Alexander Paschall, engine support tech. We've got Ryan, Andrew, and Ed from the Uppercut Games team, and all the way out in Australia. So they are. It is very late there.
It's very early there, right?
Is it early or late?
Is it right now?
It's 4 a.m.
4 a.m. Yeah.
4 a.m. Okay, great. So you're just having your first cup of coffee, and getting about your day. So that's awesome. We're going to be chatting over their new game Submerged that just released on the 4th, so not that long ago. And I've seen a lot of people playing and streaming
really
and
nice.
videos all online and anything like that. So before we get too deep into that, let's hop into the news. And before the monitor specifically, I wanted to call out that very, very recently, as in like while we were sitting here in the room, we've had a phishing attack on Epic Games on our accounts. So if you have received an email from us that's got, like a link for downloading a file from a Dropbox or Google Drive, it's actually says all of them in there. It's not really from us. It appears like it is, but it's not. We're investigating it right now. There is a post in the forums if you want to hop on over to the link list here. Yeah, Jeff just got this up for us. Thank you so much, Jeff. This announcement releases. So we will be updating this thread here to let you know as we find out more information. So safe than sorry if we send you things, or if it appears like we're sending you something from Dropbox or Google Drive. I would definitely avoid getting phished yourself. So
yeah, especially if it's from this Chance Ivey person. He's very suspicious.
I am not. I am gold. Anyway, all right, great. So on to the next piece of news here. There's been a lot going on at SIGGRAPH this week, and one of the things that kind of came out of it was this Faceware Live gets Unreal, and we had the team out here for a little bit. Our animators have been working with them a little bit as well. FaceLive is a live mocap piece of software for facial mocap, and I wish I could show the full videos. They're a little long, but I can kind of hop down here and just give you a little bit of. We'll skip.
Oh no.
Oh, don't kill us! No, it's gonna be yeah. Let's go
Copyright notices to start flying up everywhere.
Really quick, if we can.
Yeah, this is really cool. The number one big thing about it is you don't have to put like a million markers on the person's face. It just knows what a face is, so that's nice.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get real quick. I don't want to take all the time here. Hi, Jeremy. Thanks. Basically, so it tracks your face here, and you can see it in real time. Faceware and Epic have been working together for a couple days to get it running in real time in the engine using the Kite Boy. This is Charisse here saying things, and it's a really, really great video. At the end, there's a full table flips, and she's got the full mocap.
Yeah, she was excited that everything had physics, and you can just like slap it around. Yeah, she's actually trying to flip a table.
There you go. Anyway, we were super excited about it. Definitely head over to the blog and check out the full video. It's really astounding. Like I want to use this for all kinds of things. We talked about doing live takes for mocap. Like if you've got a cinematic in your game and you want to just kind of run the whole sequence over and record it as is, you can do all of that absolutely live. Which is really cool.
It's really great. So I like it for. I might even try it for VR applications. I'm pretty excited for it.
I'm sure you will with your glove.
Such a dork with VR, I know.
All right. Next thing we got is 4.9 Preview 3 has been released earlier this week.
Very cool.
So you can hop in there and find out all the things that are broken and all the new features. I say broken as in just want to remind everybody that the preview releases are not built for production use. They are just kind of for early adopters that want to check out what's on its way in the next version of the engine. This one has a ton of bug fixes. I know Steven has updated the known issues list as well as the full-on. Well, I lost it there. Where we go here? Yeah, here we go. So all the bugs that have been fixed there. There's a lot that made it in this last week. So You can probably expect them again next week. I'm not really sure. I haven't talked to the team yet.
But it's always like what passes, what doesn't pass.
Right. We're still trying to continue to stay on the week-ish cadence for preview releases as we lead up to the major 4.9 as it comes out. And at this point, 4.9 looks like it's gonna be close to the end of the month. Don't quote me on that, but you can expect it in the next few weeks. So keep an eye out on all of our channels, the blog, everything. And then one more time, I'm going to call out SIGGRAPH because we are still there. I just talked to Dana earlier today, and this is the last day of the show floor where we'll roll through all the things we got going on and see we got. There's the indie mix there. It's the indie media exchange. It's called the Mix. We've got 6 different stations there with Mega Blast, Mean Greens, and World War tunes to check out. So if you're in the LA area, if you're at SIGGRAPH, definitely go check those out. And also we're showing Showdown at the VR Village throughout most of the day as well too. And if you're at SIGGRAPH and you're watching our show, you're missing a very awesome talk about level design for UT that Alan Willard is giving. It's a bit of a longer one there. You see it's 3 hours and 15 minutes. I know we've had Alan on the stream before. Super bright guy, really great tech artist, and this is a fantastic talk. So I hope to get him back to actually give it here, or we'll get it in some way out to the masses outside of just SIGGRAPH. So
it'd be nice to at least do like a short boiled down version of it.
Yep, totally. So I'm gonna move that. Oh, look at that. Boom. Leave that as well. So last little bit of news we had was a Casual Connect. It's happening this week as well. We've got a few people there. I know Ray is giving a talk. Andy Hess is out there, one of our evangelists, and a few other guys on the floor there. So if you're going to be at the show there, see if you can find somebody from Epic and give them a high five and tell them I sent you, and then they'll be like, "Oh, great, thanks. That guy's terrible." I'm like, "Yeah, you know too. We agree with you." That's pretty much it for the news. So, Alexander, take us over to the community spotlight. Dun, dun,
Pass me the magical mouse.
I will give you the honorary mouse.
All right,
it's yours.
Let's see here. It is not this. It is.
Yeah, you had it right.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, there's a video for the first one, right?
Yep. The first thing on here is the. I want to say it's Vico Dynamics.
Yeah.
Particle-based physics library. It's a plugin that basically allows you to create some really cool effects in rope format. And Shelly's got the video loaded up here.
Let's take a look at this thing.
So we'll play some of this so you get the idea.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah, it lets you do a lot of this cool kind of like soft body rope stuff. And
single rope.
And
married rope. Wait.
What is
It's for that Cthulhu game you've always wanted to make.
Yeah, it's really good for. See, this is like great for physics puzzles, neat little like physics games and stuff.
Put a hand on that thing. It's like a
it just like slaps you around. And
jumping rope.
Yeah, the jump rope game that you've always wanted to do.
The Rocky,
Jumpy Bird
game.
Yeah, this is actually pretty impressive. If you ever want to do like a Marble Madness game.
No, I just want a hammock.
Yeah. Your VR hammock you can go chill out in.
Amazing collision as well.
Wow.
Oh, very cool. This is the most awkward video we could have chosen for this. We got it! You did it!
Yay! All right. I think you get the idea, Show.
Yeah. All right. That's awesome. Vico Dynamics.
Vico Dynamics. That's a great one. And
it looks like they're gonna submit it to the marketplace too. Well.
you Shelly's are still laughing.
All right. So it's a plugin that's been submitted to the marketplace, so you might see it, where you can make your own little wiggling box droppers. I think there's a lot of valid uses there.
There's actually a lot of valid uses there.
Fun
it's just that we're not very mature. We keep giggling at everything.
We don't really do a whole lot that is mature or adult.
No.
Anyway, what do we got next?
All right, so the next thing up is Darkholder has gone and done a really awesome tutorial series. Unlike regular tutorial series, it's not about UE4 specifically, it's about the marketplace assets. So he goes in and he says, if you have this asset, try this stuff out. I'm going to expand on it in a lot of similar ways that a content creator might do.
Now, are these his packs or are they other people's
No, they're other people's packs. Wow. So he's basically saying, hey, if you want to add, like if you take one of the basic shooting things or one of the other ones that exist, you can add crouching or add whatever special stuff.
It's a good way for you to just utilize it and get to moving fast on newer features using them as well.
And I think a lot of his beginner stuff is based off of Michael Aller's generic shooting stuff. Shooter. But then there is more
generic
stuff.
Shooter.
It's not just all him. Even yeah, there's some tons of videos, tons of interaction.
Yeah, what I liked about this thread when we were talking about it earlier this week was that it's continuously updated. I mean, you can see there's just a significant amount of content here. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Was that roll down a little bit?
Yeah, this is just yesterday. I think is the last
Yeah,
video he
yesterday.
did,
So it's, I mean, like
so
almost
go
daily
in,
or more
comment.
than, more than
Yeah,
that as well.
definitely participate and give him suggestions. Really good stuff. I like his.
And there might
tutorial
actually
videos.
be, if you're a marketplace creator, you're making assets to sell on our marketplace.
Yeah, go
this
pat
is-
him on the back. Yeah.
Well, not even that. Use this as a way to kind of see, oh, this is what people are using my stuff for, and here are ways that I could possibly improve this. I don't know.
yeah,
really great
this is
work.
definitely the here's a cool thing, here's a practical application for it. So, yep.
Totally cool.
And that's our community spotlight for the day. I'm
Thanks,
gonna
Darkholder.
pass it back to you.
I don't need that mouse.
You don't need it?
I'm
Okay.
talking today. I'm just
All
kidding.
right, cool.
All right, so Submerged, how's it going, Uppercut guys?
Hey, good. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
morning.
so, oh goodness, I'm losing my microphone.
Is it falling out of
Audio
your
thing
ear?
is just the best today.
We're having a super awesome day
Yeah.
as far as technical work goes. Yeah.
So yeah, the Uppercut team has released Submerged, as we mentioned earlier. I guess it was last week, right? Yeah, on the 4th. So last Tuesday. I think I'm doing math right. Anyway, it's a beautiful game that follows the character Miku as she explores this beautifully destroyed city with her younger brother. So you guys are from Australia. We got the three founders from the team. It's like that's half of your team, right? You're 6 total.
Mhm.
Wow,
That's right.
that is awesome.
Very
And we've got the launch trailer queued up right now, so Shelly can kick that live. We'll get the quick look at what it's all about. Is there sound?
Yeah, there is.
Will there be stars? Great.
You should be able to hear it. No extra.
No, I can't. It's the bane of the couch.
Yeah, the water effects are absolutely amazing. I know everyone that I know that works in the rendering side of stuff has been just enthralled with
Yeah.
just checking this out. And I've had 2 different people come up to me and say, I know you're interviewing those guys. Do you have any keys you can give me? I need to play this.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful game. I mean, that's the first thing I noticed, of course, was the water.
Yeah.
Because it looked like nothing I had seen before when we first started seeing screens pop up about it in the past, and yeah, it's just really, really cool.
I don't want to steal Ryan's story, but that's all Ryan.
It's all Ryan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
good
the,
work.
the most interesting thing about that water is that it's the unreal terrain.
Oh, no kidding.
way.
Yeah.
That's
Well, we had to use
I
the
wouldn't have
terrain
guessed
to,
that.
Get the loading.
yeah, it's funny.
Oh.
We're like, yeah, it's all train. And we're like, what? You gotta be kidding. It's like, no, like no big deal.
Yo,
We
my mind
use
is
the
just
terrain.
blown over it. Yeah, it's great.
Wow, that's fantastic. Okay, you have to tell us a little bit about that here in a
Some
minute.
secrets, yeah.
So let's see. And this is.
I like how you kind of you have to figure out the story. It's sort of minimalist. It doesn't hit you over the head with like a big prologue or something.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Submerged. Great looking game.
Yes, yeah.
So
Gorgeous.
yeah, this is awesome. Tell us a little bit about Uppercut Games. I know you guys have been making games in Unreal Engine in the past too. Like you've worked on the Epoch series on mobile. But like give us a little bit of background about your studio and like how you got together and what you all do.
You want me to drive that one? Okay. So we formed in 2011, and like you said, we worked on the Epoch games, or Epic, depending on how you pronounce it,
Yeah.
in whatever country you're in. And yeah, those are Unreal 3 games. Primarily, we saw Infinity Blade come out on mobile, and we went, okay, so the engine works there now. Awesome. We're going to go make our own games on there. But before that, we were all at Irrational Games /2K Australia /2K Marin /2K whatever.
Right.
So that's where the majority of our Unreal experience comes from, because we started using Unreal for Tribes Vengeance we tried
2002.
2002.
Yeah.
So yeah, the studio chose the engine at that time, and we've just been using Unreal ever since then.
That's awesome. And there's 6 of you there, right? Like there's the 3 of you. And then what is your I guess breakdown? Is it like 2 coders, 2 artists?
It's kind of well. So I'm a designer originally.
Right.
AJ, artist, Ryan, programmer. But obviously, once you become this small, you do a lot of everything all
Yeah.
the time. So we also have 2 other programmers full-time and an artist full-time working with us.
Yeah, there's we had 7 people work on Submerged for most of the production of it.
Yep.
And we've got 1 programmer. He's full-time, but he lives down in Adelaide, which is, I guess, a couple of
What's the equivalent distance there?
100 kilometres away. So he works remotely.
Okay.
And we had, contractors. We had some guys make some models for us, and a composer do amazing musical score.
Yeah.
But yeah, the core team's 6 people now.
That's great. And you guys are located where in Australia?
We're in the capital city,
Ooh,
which is...
Sydney.
No, it's Canberra.
Oh, is it?
See, Shelly's right over here. She's over
Shelley's
here with
got
the
it.
correct one. And
Hey.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything because I know I'm wrong, but I was thinking Sydney.
No, I
Yeah, there she is.
No, I dive in. I lean into my mistakes, Alexander. Sometimes you just gotta take it
I just
and
like,
go. Well, that's great.
I'm not a geography person.
It's easy.
I didn't play Carmen San Diego. I'm sorry. That's how it is. All right. Well, thanks, Alexander. Well, we're in the capital of North Carolina, so I know that at least, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. Let's see. So yeah, you're working on. You've just, I guess, wrapped up work on Submerged. And historically you've been making mobile games, and outside of your work at Irrational, so just taking that on from Epoch and then moving on to console, I'm sure there's a bunch of different considerations you've had to take into account. I mean, mobile is one of those that you actually have a lot more restrictions, or maybe they're just different restrictions. I don't know. Like, how was that transition for you guys?
Well, when we first started, we were using like the beta version of Unreal 4 when it first came out. We were one of the lucky people who got access to it to try and we were doing testing, and we started working on a bunch of prototypes, and Submerged was one of the prototypes that came out of that. And so I think there wasn't even actually mobile support at that point. So we definitely decided we were going to do PC as the primary platform, but it was definitely a lot of different decisions that had to be made. And as we learnt sort of with the strengths of Unreal 4 and what it could and couldn't do, especially in terms of using the terrain for the water and things like that, we started with these massive amounts of mesh and memory, and I had to sort of work through how best to get this massive city performing. Compared to mobile, where we were making like these very small little vignette scenes, where if anyone's played the Epoch games, the camera's set, and I could really tune the performance of how many assets it's rendering and how many draw calls. It was very simple from that respect. Whereas this is a streaming world where you can sort of go anywhere and look anywhere and climb up to the top of the building and just view the entire city.
Yeah, some of the vistas I've seen in this game from the gameplay videos I've seen are just like, yeah, really, really, really beautiful. I mean, you've got really great effects like the fog in that one we just saw here. I'm watching the video here and trying to comment on it too.
I'm really thrilled with the wind and the day-night cycles.
Yeah, How big is this?
There's a lot of subtlety.
How big is this city? Like, could you if you could quantify it in some way?
Not sure in miles. It's a couple of square kilometers, maybe 2 kilometers across,
Okay.
in sort of real world scale. And we built it. Originally, we built it as one massive level, which would run on a super high-powered PC, but it was never going to fly for consoles and lower end. So when the world composition tool came online, we basically we ported the whole level over to that with streaming pieces, and the city sort of broken up into about 16 streaming chunks.
Okay.
Each one of those has log levels and things like that.
And so, since you've been working on this since the beta, I assume you've kind of you're not on 4.8 at this point. What version of the engine are you kind of like cored out on?
I think we shipped on 4.7.3.
Okay, so you've actually been updating since the beta all the way to this, just kind of taking things.
Yeah, we had to stop updating at 4.7 because we had to lock everything down when we were getting close to ship. But
Got it.
yeah, each version came out, we'd update.
Oh, that's great. It's great that you're able to do, you know, all of these large world features without all the large world features that came out in 4.8, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's actually really impressive.
well,
4.8 was supposed to be like the large world build.
Yeah.
Here's all the cool
Like,
kite demo stuff.
Yeah, none of
Wow.
the things we built for Kite are in this, which is pretty impressive. You guys done a fantastic job here.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
it-
bear now.
Hmm?
Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to ask if the city was based off of any particular architecture of any city. I keep looking at it and want to say it's South American or something, but it's really
The building that you can see she's in there at the moment was actually it's like a mixture of the Sydney and Brisbane town halls.
Oh.
Which is a sort of local architecture I liked. But then we pulled influences from different cities around the world. So a lot of people say, "Hey, that looks like is that Australia? Is that the Sydney Harbour Bridge or the
Was that San Francisco
Golden Gate
or-
Bridge or
yeah.
whatever?" But there's sort of architecture there from influences from New York and San Francisco and then other places.
It's a little bit all
In
over.
Europe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the point was to try and make a city that was appealing to mostly Western audiences, obviously people who've had experience with those kinds of cities, so people would understand what kind of city it was. So not to be any particular place.
All right. Well, yeah. I don't know. Last time I was hanging out, you know, in South America, I was in an underwater city. That never happened. Yeah. So on the subject of the game itself and just kind of what kind of game it is. I mean, you had Epoch, which is kind of a robotic shooter, right, based on mobile, and you're taking the approach to come to console now as something that is like no combat. It's all about exploration. You know, kind of puzzles and just everything's thought-provoking. You want to explore. You want to look around. Just watching the game being played instills a sense of calm in me. How'd you take that approach, right? Like, was that like an explicit decision coming from that, saying, you know, we want to make this kind of game?
I'd call it an organic process, which is otherwise known as, you know, trying out some things and realizing that the strength of what we'd started to build was actually that it was a relaxing and sort of nice, serene place to be in. We did actually experiment with combat and things like that, but the more we worked on the big city and the ability to sort of boat around in it and take your time in it, the more we realized that the serene angle was the thing that really worked for it. And especially when we finally actually got to show the game off at PAX, that was the major feedback we got that everybody really liked about the game, was that we'd gone that route.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a trend there. It's a good one too, right? Where it's less about hiding and shooting people in the face or punching people, and you know, it's more about these. They're a little bit more, you know, pass-in or opt-in passive experiences, right? Where I want to just go do these things really simply without having to feel anxiety and a whole bunch of other, you know, emotions that kind of hype people up, right? Like, this is, what are we watching on the screen here? That's interesting.
Oh, this is how they tell you the stories. You find these nice little cards and
Oh,
they
wow.
kind of piece them together, and then you have to kind of infer the story based on the cool little images they give you.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm curious about this. Whose idea was it to kind of deliver the story in that way? Really? Well,
Yeah.
kudos. I like it.
The designer.
The design,
Well,
of
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Partly because I like drawing things, partly because we wanted to try and tell a simpler story in a way that was simpler than we'd done in the past. So for Epoch 2, it's interesting you were looking at the that face capture stuff before. So on Epoch 2, we actually, was it the same software?
It was phase shift, but a similar
Phase shift,
real-time
right.
sort of
So
capture.
we did like, I don't know how many minutes of actual motion capture and face capture and dialogue and cutscenes. We had minutes and minutes of cutscenes for a mobile game, which was probably us overshooting it a little bit. So we kind of
Just
wanted
a little.
yeah. So we wanted to wind that back a bit and try and tell things in a simpler way. And you know, while this game is kind of a big departure for us in terms of, like you're saying, we make a robot apocalyptic cover shootery twitchy game. To this, there's still I think a good heritage of, especially in the storytelling, where you can see the influence of previous Epoch games and Bioshock, to be honest. So we're still trying to tell stories or use techniques that we learned from all of those games.
Gotcha. And you mentioned Bioshock. I'm supposed to tell you from John Abercrombie. I'm supposed to troll you guys, but I didn't
Troll
get
fail.
Yeah, I didn't really get a whole lot of really great meat from him because I was like, John, you just come on the stream and hang out with us and you can do it. And he's like, I don't know, I don't know anything about that. So anyway, he says hello. I just wanted to let y'all know.
Hi, Bromby.
Hey, John.
We'll tell him you say hey. So yeah, you've been working on the game since the since the beta. You said so. It's been kind of a full team since about that time. Like we're talking just a couple of years on this.
It was about 18 months. We had,
Okay.
I think for the first 6 months of the project or so, Ryan was still doing Epoch 2 updates. And we were managing different other things. And then, so about a year, we had the whole team working on it.
Okay.
So,
That's fantastic for a year. I mean, that's a beautiful
Yeah,
game,
it's a
and
good turnaround
2K
time.
by 2K. It's a lot of content. Could you tell me about how long a playthrough would be for the game? Like, how many puzzles, how many things? What do you expect players to do?
The intentional speed,
Yeah.
like speed run it, but like doing all the things you intended.
It's it's a tough one to answer. It's a shorter gaming experience for sure, but because the goal is to create somewhere where we actually want you to stop and smell the roses, ostensibly, it's taking people a lot longer than I thought it would. So it's like, let's say it's about 2 to 3 hours for the sort of main campaign, but then you've got the whole world to then explore and find all the different secret objects that are hidden as well. But even just to do the main campaign, people are taking upwards of 5 hours because they stop, they look at a sunrise, they take a postcard, and they really sort of try to mine out the whole map. So yeah, somewhere in that ballpark, somewhere between 2 to 6 hours.
Yeah, and I found that like those are for me. That's kind of like the golden point, right? For me to sit down and play a game that of that length, because it allows me to kind of go through it, play it once, and I can spend another time again going back and doing all the little exploration things later that I knew that I missed. But I'm the kind of person to get through the story and figure out what everything's about, and then go back and spend my time exploring. So that's
we
great.
even included an explore mode for exactly you. So
Oh,
that when you
great.
finish the campaign, you can just go straight back.
It's chance mode?
Nice.
All right,
nice.
I'll take it.
Easier
Put that
than
in the
easy
patch.
mode, aka
Yes.
chance mode.
Perfect. Hey, it's not easier than easy mode. I'll push you.
Is that basically you guys kind of take out I don't know what they're called specifically, but kind of the shadow creature things and make it like a little less you have to avoid things? Is that the difference there, or?
Oh, there's no failure states in the game in the first place, so you can't
okay.
die. There's no health. You can't fall off ledges. None of that. Like again, going back to that whole, hey, this is going to be a relaxing experience.
Yeah.
So it's just me being paranoid that I keep running away from those things. 'Cause
Well, you and my 10-year-old daughter. So
Oh, I just got burned.
Yeah, hey Shelly, can you hand me that aloe?
Yeah, I need
For
the
this
aloe.
sick burn over here.
Oh, it hurts.
All
It's
right.
interesting because that the fact that the game has no failure states and no combat's been pretty polarizing.
Yeah.
People seem to really like it or really don't like it. There's not a lot of middle ground there. There's sort of very extreme opinions about it, which has been really interesting for us to sort of make a love or hate product almost.
Well, I think it's it's a very unique approach to take. Most games that are like that are kind of your walking simulator or your just other exploration games that kind of tell the story through the environment or through little tiny context clues. Gone Home comes to mind, right, where you're exploring a house and you're finding things in the house that are telling you more about other things to go explore. You can't really lose; you just stop playing if you don't finish, right? And so I don't know. I'd consider that for me. That's a positive because that lets me kind of take things at my own pace. I don't feel like I've got to relearn controls, or I'm always doing something wrong. Right? The game's not beating me over the head. It's just letting me experience it, which is pretty great.
And there's a lot of moments in the game where you look like you want to kind of just look over the horizon and look over everything, and it's good to know that there's nothing coming up behind you ever, unless you're me and you're paranoid. Apparently,
Are you just like paranoid in life?
I get paranoid. I saw like these weird like shifty shadow creature
I stop
things, and I
sneaking
just
up on you in the
assumed that they
office?
could kill me or something.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to be hearing about this for a while. You believe me?
So a question we get a lot for game development teams that are working on shipping games, code or blueprints or both.
Code mostly, but some blueprints.
Gotcha.
give us a where do you draw the line?
blueprints are hard to debug compared to code
If
for me.
if you're already a
And
coder,
hard to
especially
read.
if you're a coder with UE3 experience, I'm sure that there's a lot of translational knowledge you can kind of take at least from class hierarchy and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus,
I also just find that blueprints get too big. If they get too big, then you should turn it into code.
we can do a lot of damage with blueprints if we're allowed to.
Well, most of the like the day-night cycle, for example, is the whole weather system. That's all one big blueprint. And then once we got it on console, there was parts of that just weren't performing, and that got pushed across to code, right? Just some of the
Yes.
updating of it.
Okay,
Um,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was more that I think we were adjusting a few variables that you
Right.
shouldn't
You shouldn't
adjust at
adjust.
runtime
Yeah.
that were causing some serious frame rate issues, so
Yeah.
we had to take those out.
Okay.
Uh,
That's great. And
And obviously all the animation systems using all the animation blueprint
yep.
stuff.
Another one too that we get asked quite a bit. Like, did you approach a publisher for this or any sort of crowdfunding, or and how did you approach marketing for the game?
I'll do the funding if you do the marketing.
Sure.
The
I mean, you all wear a lot
This
of
is
hats.
how we
There's-
this is how we do it as well.
yeah.
You do that today.
Yeah,
I'll do that
that's
tomorrow.
right.
Yeah.
So the game, in short, the game is funded between us and a government grant that exists in Australia or existed in Australia. It actually got killed not long after we got it, but we're still
Oh
actually
no.
we still actually get the money for it. So they kind of grandfathered it with us. So that's where our funding comes from. We never really seriously considered going for crowdfunding because that looks like a large, scary area that we have no experience with. But we also don't particularly like being beholden to other people. And,
Right.
Especially starting on mobile, which was like the easiest way to get into anything was just like, hey, you can just release your damn game on mobile.
Yeah.
So having that freedom was pretty hard to give up. So no, I don't think we ever really seriously considered a publisher either.
Gotcha. And so as far as you said, government grants, I know America is very different about that than a lot of other places in the world. Is that something that, if it's available for developers, that you would encourage them to seek out if possible?
Yeah, absolutely. So even for Epoch, there was a completely different set of grants available at that time, and we got a small amount of money for the finishing of Epoch 1 and creation of Epoch 2. But this one was actually a really good forward-looking fund that was created by the previous government.
Oh.
And, the current government came in and went,
Yeah.
but with that said, we're not the first people to release a game using that grant, and I think it's shown that money has actually gone to really, really good projects in general. So yeah, I would absolutely encourage anybody to. I don't know where you would look in America. It's obviously a completely different system, but
Right.
I would look wherever you can.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know that there's, I've heard of from places in Europe and even in Canada for specific games as well too. So I don't know much about the process here because, like I said, I don't know that we have a specific program for that. At least nationally, but I know some individual cities do have things. Like Texas had some as well for specific arts. But
I want
cool.
to say Carrie does, but I'd have to look into
Oh
it.
yeah. Let's see. So you're
Market. Did you want to hear our? Yeah, AJ can do his marketing
Yeah.
spiel.
Well, we started, basically just releasing some videos, and about 12 months ago, I did a couple of just sort of blogs about how we were doing the painting of the buildings and shaders and things on the city, and that just sort of organically started to spread around. We got contacted by people, but most of the marketing is, I guess you call it, grassroots. We haven't spent money. Just sort of take opportunities like this one we're doing right here, wherever they present themselves, and take our games to conferences like PAX and GDC.
yeah.
It's like a
I was just gonna say, I think that we hear about making games a whole lot easier now, so exposure is a lot harder. But being able to do that and reach a larger audience without the need for a publisher or other people is actually easier in a lot of ways too. You just got to identify those opportunities for your game and kind of attack them at the right times. I think that getting out to PAX is probably a really big deal. I'm sure that did wonders for you. I know a lot of teams that that's where they make their first big kickoff and then they see success almost immediately afterwards.
I think the other major plank for us has always been relying on partners, the platform holders. So back with Epoch 1, we were deliberately setting out to try and do something that we thought would get the attention of Apple, which that worked.
Yeah.
Largely due to the fact that we were using Unreal 3, it looked really good, and it was on mobile. And the same is sort of held true here. We're really fortunate, I think, that both Microsoft and Sony have shown an interest in the game and have been helping promote it as well. Because that kind of promotion where the platform holders are the ones that are doing it for you is it's worth its weight in gold, and it's not something you can buy.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's got to be interesting too. Publishing on both consoles and on, like I mentioned earlier, and on PC all at the same time. I mean, did you have any I guess any logistical or tech considerations when approaching that? Right, I mean.
Look at Ryan laughing.
That one's going to be like, yes.
It's getting darker on that side of the screen. It's slowly fading out.
You can't see the tears.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it was. There was a big learning curve because we'd never done console development as. I mean, we'd done console development at 2K, but you always had somebody else to manage all of that extra stuff for you.
Yeah.
Whereas now we were doing it all ourselves. We had to learn about how to go through all the Sony portals and the Xbox process and certification and submission and all of that. I think that was the bulk of what I was doing for the last 2 months of the project. It was just wrangling all of that stuff.
Yeah, like Ryan said, when you're working at a publisher or studio with producers and other departments that take care of we'd be fixing bugs at 2K and submit them, and then someone else would go make the build and submit it to Microsoft or whatever, and we'd find out a month later that it had passed certification.
And you're like, hooray!
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's magic. You just put it in the box, and then it happens, right?
Yeah, so it's a very different process when you're doing it all yourself. But yeah, definitely a big learning curve.
But I think we've decided it was worth it.
Oh, definitely. Definitely worth it.
There were some hardships there, but AJ was saying that the promotional boost, especially you get of actually having all of the reviews hit it all at the same time and everybody talking about it all at the same time is totally worth it. So we would do it again, but we might be prepared this time. Yeah.
Well, we certainly hope you do it again. On that note, and I know that Submerged is just now out. I haven't even really had much of a chance to get my own hands on it and stuff. But yeah, we'd love to see you replicate this process in the future as well, right?
Cool. Yeah, we better.
That'll be the plan.
Yeah, we want to reuse all of everything we've learned.
Great. And let's see. Got a couple more things here, and then we can hop into some Q&A from the community if you'd like. But the next thing is, how can people get involved? I mean, I know that they can hop on now to the PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store, or Steam, and buy the game. Do you guys have a place that you like to keep your community? Is it on your website? Is it on Steam? What are your websites, and where can people find out more information?
Well, so you can always just go to the Uppercut website, which is just uppercut-games.com.
Okay.
And you can link directly to Submerged from there. The largest amount of discussion, I guess, we go into is on the Steam forums. We've been writing those since the game released. So yeah, that's the easiest place to find us, I think. And of course, you can see our Twitter handles down there, etc. So you can always reach out to us there as well.
Yeah, just at Uppercut Games is the company one where we push out all the news about the game and new products.
Yeah, and we've also, there's a development blog too, which I should pimp, but you can just find us.
That's all on our website.
Yeah.
Great.
We've been trying to be conscientious about getting articles up there, and some fairly technical articles too, if you're curious about some of the systems and how they were done. You can usually read a few things there.
I haven't written the water one yet.
You're going to write a water one?
I was going to, but I don't know when we get it. A chance.
Well, that's great. Yeah, and you guys are pretty active on social. I see you guys tweeting out the Unreal Engine quite a bit, and showing off your work and stuff. Of course, we all follow you here. So let's hop into some quick Q&A, and then we'll get any last thoughts, and then kick off the game jam.
Oh,
How's
yeah,
that sound?
yeah.
We're doing that today too. So, dun dun dun. All right. So, one, this is kind of a cool question, and I'm going to ask it in two different ways. So, the question is, how hard was it to start? And I'm going to say start Uppercut and then start Submerged itself,
The actual
right?
development, yeah.
Without going into too much detail, of course, but like a lot of teams here, that I know from experience myself, getting just the first foot out there to do the next thing, all right, here we're going to move and we're going to actually make this thing. How did y'all originally organize and move forward with that? And how difficult was that for just a team of 6?
Starting Uppercut?
Yeah, I mean that was quite an easy process because we were in a place where we all wanted to sort of leave. We'd all been in a studio for a long time.
Yeah.
We quit!
Yeah, we quit our jobs and started a new business. So that one was easy. We pushed ourselves out the door. And with Submerged, I think Ed's got a little story he's been telling everybody, which is a true story, but about we've been playing around with a bunch of different prototypes. But the next game we're going to make after Epoch 2, and one I think we'd almost started one of them, and then Ed came in one day and went, "Hey, check out this video on YouTube." Segue.
Oh, is that you handing it over to me? So I saw a video of a GTA mod which raised the sea level and destroyed the world, but it also had just the shot of the skyscrapers of the city sticking up out of the water, and that was the image that then triggered in me to sit down and do a sketch of just this sunken city with a little boat raft on the water there, and the idea of having the little girl just floating through it. No idea what the game was, but that was the thing I just sort of pitched on the way out the door one afternoon, and then we talked about it, and then we kept talking about it, and the idea just took hold, and so that was the one we decided to do.
That's
But
great.
then actually doing the prototype for that wasn't. How long did that take?
Just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so. And this kind of leads into another question here too. Landscape water, was that part of your prototype?
Yeah, I'm so curious about this.
How are you making that work? If you can disclose that, I mean, like with the collision and everything.
Yeah, like the water effects, the braking and all that. Yeah.
So the terrain has no collision on it, which is why if you fall off a building, which you're not supposed to be able to do, but there's a few bugs in there.
Features.
Yeah.
It's only 2 cases that we've seen where people
Yeah.
managed to get off the buildings.
But the boat runs a sort of a buoyancy physics model to keep it on the surface of the water.
Okay.
And it is the only thing technically in the water. All the animals are just running a basic. They just get kept at the height of the ocean level, and then play animations to make them look like they're on top of it.
Yeah, so there's a vertex shader on the terrain material that's got all the waveforms
Okay.
in it, and Ryan's running the same simulation on the boat, so that they look like they're together, but they're not.
Did you? So with the vertex shader that's offsetting on the landscape here, did you have to jump through any special hoops to achieve these results that look pretty awesome?
Yeah.
So everything is base Unreal except the boat wake.
Okay.
So terrains by default have constant material instances on them, so I had to change that to a dynamic one.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only engine level change I had to make to get it all working.
Was that
Everything else is just custom Unreal.
Was that super
so.
expensive on a landscape,
Uh,
performance-wise?
No.
Well, we got performance back actually switching because I had a massive amount of meshes in the city.
Yeah.
You imagine the density of that thing. But then we turned the landscape on and just pulled the lodding in. so the tessellation around the boat's quite high, but then it just nicely lods out using
right on.
the landscape lodding
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
dial
that's so smart.
turned, the dial's turned right up, so it actually gets super low res off in the distance.
Well, that's really good for water too, because you don't really care about it being that far out, right? I mean, in real life,
Yeah.
you lose fidelity pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Especially
and if
with
there were
transparency.
mountains, there's no way we could have turned it. If it was actual
Yeah.
3D landscape, no way we could have turned it down that much. You'd have these crappy looking polygon hills in the background.
Oh, that's pretty
I
smart.
was a bit worried about performance with the changing the dynamic thing, but we just tried it and it wasn't.
It was good enough.
Yeah, it was good enough, so we didn't have to worry about it. I mean, I did suspect that you guys had maybe made it constant for some technical reason, but I
Video games.
changed it and it worked.
I'd have to grill Jack Porter on that one. Yeah.
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 All right, and we've got one more here. What software do you use to do all your modeling for characters, assets, things like that? Are you working with Maya, Max, those kind of things?
You guys
or-
Blender guys?
It's all Max. So I'm just a old man who doesn't want to learn any new software. I've been using it for 15 years. So it was all 3D Max and a bit of ZBrush for some character models.
And are you also doing the animations as well yourself?
Yeah, it's a combination. All the climbing's hand keyed, and that's one of the things about having a small team. So we have to do multiple things. And
Right.
I started as an animator in my career like 20 years ago, but because I don't do it every day, I'm definitely not the best animator in the world. But we used mocap for the cutscenes,
Okay.
which sort of worked okay, even though it's me being the little girl. Worked out okay.
I'd love to see the.
I'm
videos
actually
of
every
those
character.
shots.
I'm every character in the game, basically.
He's every
Oh.
character in every game we ever
Yeah.
work on.
I'm Epoch as well.
Whoa! How did you
I
carry
am
yourself?
Epoch.
How were you the little brother carrying yourself? That's amazing.
That was. You want to know? That was me, him in a mocap suit with his butt on the ground, and me cradling him in my arms, so we could capture it. And I
It was
think
a
there's
very emotional.
we have a
Oh,
photo
that's so
somewhere.
good.
Please tell me
Yeah.
there's videos. Oh yeah, I need
We,
to
thought,
see
we
that.
thought we were close before.
Now you're best bros.
All right. Well, that's all we got for questions right now. Do you have any other practical advice? Any other things you can say about game development to the Unreal community that we've got in here about a game, or any advice you got?
There's the cradling right there.
Yeah, there's the cradling.
Yeah.
I guess our motto as a studio is to try and just use the tools as they are and not get stuck in, sort of trying to change things. So whatever Unreal provides, we try and use it and use our time making a game, not like reinventing systems, because we want to do something slightly different. So a lot of our decision making is what can we do with what's there, and then get on with it.
Okay, no, that's great, and it's that lines up a lot with when we talk about the Unreal Engine, with us making it free, with us doing everything, making a tool that is basically to try to get out of your way, so you don't have to think about the technical parts, and you can focus on creating that cool experience that you want, right? There's a lot of our tools still have ways to go in specific areas, and we'll always be improving it, release over release, as you guys have seen.
Yeah.
Even with 4.9 coming out soon, but yeah, that's great. That's an awesome approach. Well, cool. So let's go ahead and I guess we can.
You want me to kick
off
the thing?
Game jam.
All right.
Yeah. Let me grab this mouse.
I'm saving it. I'm doing it.
All right. And
All right.
will you do the whole? Actually, I can probably get to it.
All right. It's happened.
I don't gotta type anything. It's
Yep.
happened. He says.
All right.
Dun dun dun. And the
Main
game jam
screen
theme
on.
is thrown in at the deep end.
For all of you
we're-
guessing something related to water, congratulations.
Congratulations, yes. So right now you've got until, I guess, midnight Sunday night and early Monday morning to make a game in Unreal Engine based around the theme. We're going to judge it based on overall visuals, fun factor, and then unique use of theme. The top 3 games at the end will be shown. Well, actually, we'll show all the games in a quick roll-up video next week. The top 3 games we played in the live stream as well at that time. And we're sending out epic swag bags, custom T-shirts. And the Uppercut guys have been gracious enough to donate codes for Submerged for
Thank you.
everybody on the winning team. So thank you very much, guys. That's really awesome. I might have to participate so I can snag a code for myself. Actually,
Yeah,
I'll always pick it up on PlayStation
what
4
you guys
tonight.
just
and
said.
yeah, I was probably picking it up on PlayStation tonight and get my hands dirty. So
Yeah.
happy development, everybody! Can't wait to see what you're building. Over the weekend, if you're streaming your work, tweet at us, let us know so we can keep an eye on it too and share in the forums and retweet all the things too. Use the UE4 Jam hashtag and we'll
send those screenshots. I love seeing all the progress.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like the best part of the weekend for these things.
Yeah.
And quick reminder: next week we've got I'm trying my best to get Mike Fricker back on, but it might be Nick Penwarden and Ray Davis to talk about 4.9. We're going to be going over the feature set there, and we'll be showing the results for the game jam with the winners. So may actually go into 2 streams like normal, but for these big releases. But we'll try to get it all packed in next week. So. All right, Uppercut guys, thanks so much again for dialing in.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Go back to sleep, please.
I'm so sorry we woke you up this early.
Get some rest. We really appreciate it. Alexander,
Thank you.
thanks a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Shelly, you rock.
You rock.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
No worries. Thanks, guys.